Hi everybody, it's Sandy, and this morning when I got up there was a real calling to create a rose mandala, and I needed to actually get the mandala up together and have the central candle lit for 8 a.m. this morning, and for it to be kept alight right through till 8 o'clock this evening. And so that's really where I focused this morning, in just being with what was needing to be pulled together. And so I created the mandala, and they told me that there were two aspects to it. And it just is really fascinating as we work with it to see the story that has emerged through the roses that have come together for this particular grid. I thought I'd serenade you coming in on this particular session. So I know we often play with the alchemy bowls, but this particular sounding bowl, which is a birch goddess bowl, wanted to be part of the path today. So I'm going to talk you through the roses that came together. I know many of you have actually seen the mandala that I posted this morning. The roses have changed. Well, not the roses haven't changed, but the actual energetics of the grid has changed. The grid that set up this morning had red rose petals in the center, and the sort of beehive votive that often holds the center of an energy that I'm working with Mary Magdalene. What was clear was that there was a 6-hour process that took us to 2 o'clock when the energy of it needed to change. Now, many of you have sent me the names and the for yourself and also for your loved ones to go into this mandala, and you'll see that, well, you won't see because they're all underneath an external mandala of rose petals that are actually doing some of the clearing and resetting of the energies into these pure love frequencies that we are familiar with the roses. So I am going to, I hope I can do this, I'm going to bring you this way, and I'm going to turn this round so that you can see the grid. And we are going to work our way round from 1 o'clock. I'm going to have to get further away. I didn't practice this beforehand, as you can tell. So the 1 o'clock rose, which is this rose here, this is Rose Angel 1. And Rose Angel 1 is all about this wound of separation. And so many of us are feeling this at this time. I was just astounded because I shuffled the deck and asked for the roses that were appropriate for this particular process to come forward. You'll see all around the outside. So there's a pentagram of rose hearts, and all around the outside of this mandala is now pale pink rose petals, and underneath there are the names of your loved ones, either you or your loved ones or both. So, as I say, this rose here is Rose Angel 1, and she holds this heart wound of separation and surrender. And her calling is for us to be present to this, the challenge of separation, of being separated from our loved ones, being separated from family, from friends, and trying to find a place of ease amongst that. Now, the salve for the separation and the suffering of separation is in surrender, and the knowing that we are all connected, we are all one. This rose, if you notice that she's got rosebuds with her, and these rosebuds, for me, symbolize family, whether we're looking at birth family or whether we're looking at our spiritual family. So her heart is open, and she sits within the mandala at the 1 o'clock position, and she is about surrendering to what is, and to be able to be present to what's coming up, what is, if the wound of separation has a charge on it for you, and there is a memory of this in the past, then maybe there's some healing through the connection into that wound of separation, being really present to it, really feel it, so that we can work with it, really. So at the 2 o'clock position, here we have Rose Bagua 6. And Rose Bagua 6 can illuminate for us where we've got scattered energies, where we're not completely centered and in flow. So this rose, when she's looking at what gift she's going to bring us, is actually asking us to take this time and to really know ourselves, to dive deeper. Look how she dives right down into her very core. And it is said above the temple in Delphi was inscribed, "Know thyself until thine own self be true." And that really feels to be the calling of this time, that actually if we take the time to really honor how we feel, get really present with who we are, then we can actually find some mastery through the process. So I'm just going to move so I can get some support for my hand, so you haven't got a shaking hand on this. I've never done this way before, so we're into an experiment. So 3 o'clock on this mandala, we have Rose 8. And Rose 8, if she's offering anything of an insight, it will be, is there any way in which you feel blocked, which you feel frustrated? She's opening up a path of creativity. She says, I am created. This is my natural presence. I am creator, and I am connected to the creative creator source energy. And if I get really present with myself, I can allow that to flow through me with effortless ease. And whether that's through baking, whether that's through gardening, whether that's through painting, writing, whatever way you can find that will enable you to access different aspects of yourself, then she's inviting you to do that and let go of anything that's feeling blocked or frustrated. If we go to 4 o'clock on this magical hope and healing grid, then we're looking at Rose Bagua 4. And she invites us to look and see if there's anywhere we're holding a pattern of loss. This is the rose in the Rose Bagua that's all about abundance and blessings. And so she's saying, get really appreciative of absolutely everything that you have. Everything that you pick up. Bless it and become very grateful that you have all of these things in your life. It is said, isn't it, that if we have food on the table and we have a roof over our heads and fresh water, we are blessed indeed, that we are in such a different place to a large proportion of the population on the earth. So in getting really appreciative, in getting really full of gratitude for what we have already, then absolutely sets a pathway for all that is in true alignment to that, to be able to flow to us with effortless ease. We are major manifestors. We are attractors, but we attract all that is what we bring focus to. So she is really saying, this is the time to focus on the blessings that you already have, to be really present to that. So we move round to 5 o'clock on the mandala, and we have Rose Bagua 9. Now, she says, you can be really frustrated. You have plans, and the plans have been thwarted, perhaps. But in that process, there is the opportunity to get really super clear about what really matters to you now, and to get clear about what it is that you want to experience. If we look at this portal of time that we're in, that will run us round to the winter solstice, when there is a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction at the beginning of Aquarius, this really heralds a new beginning of certainly our ingress into the age of Aquarius. This year is going to be rocky in lots of ways. And one of the places that I've gone is in creating, loosely described as an artwork. Many people wouldn't see it as that. I've been able to craft out how I want to feel, how not, the minutiae of my life, but how I want to feel by the time we get to the end of this year. And that may be helpful for you. This Rose Bagua 9, in this position in the Bagua, is all about the ultimate expression. Traditionally it was seen as fame. It was, the place in which you stepped into your greatness. But maybe this is another view of stepping into your greatness, is how do you want to feel? When you get clear about how you want to feel, then you can craft it as a vision, but then bring it back to you so that it's like a ribbon, like a golden ribbon that you can bring towards you, and then start to embrace those feelings now, so that you're really ready when you're ready to step forward. So at 6 o'clock, we have Master Rose 2, and Master Rose 2 is the Divine Feminine. Now, many people have a degree of frustration in the situation that we're running currently, and you could say that we are being controlled, or our lives are being curtailed through a patriarchal system and patterning. There seems to be an old order that is still undercurrent in this, and some people are visioning beyond this. And this rose calls us to be really present to our divine feminine aspect, that place of compassionate warrior of love. What would love have me say, do, be now? And this rose is absolutely stunning. I mean, it's like she embraces the earth. She has all of that fullness and potential that the earth holds. She's a stunningly beautiful rose. So if we go round to 7 o'clock, we have Rose Ma 7. And she is really saying, is there any place in which you feel isolated? Do you feel more isolated? Do you feel more alone? And this rose says, I am receptive. So maybe there's a place of, opening for the support, opening to allow for the right people and the right things to step forward to bring you support at this particular point. And maybe it is you that needs to reach out as opposed to expecting another to reach out to you. We go round to 8 o'clock on this mandala of light, and this is the soul star. And she sits above the crown. She sits where our fingertips would touch, and she dispenses the divine light that comes through the Christ consciousness codes of presence. She is a radiant energy, and we can connect with her when we're fully present in ourselves, and we can open from the heart up to the pineal gland and the crown. This is a rose that also opens up very well if you're working with the violet flame. If you've done any of the violet flame work that was set by Saint-Germain to transmute negative and stuck energies within the body, you can allow that flame to rise to the pineal gland, and that will reach up to the soul star and her divine golden dispensation, and allow this golden light to be able to come down through the body and shift us into a higher frequency code of being. If we move around again to 9 o'clock, here we've got Rose Angel 3, and she is the rose of judgment. So maybe it's being aware of what gets triggered for you, where your attention goes, and coming into this place of forgiveness, softening in to allow for the shift in the heart field. You'll notice that with this rose, her center's open, but there are 2 petals that almost hug her heart. And so there is a path here about kindness and being kind to self when we struggle. Those of you that have journeyed alongside me know that, there's been several times in this last month when I've found myself in the treacle pot. And this is such a shift in our the way we operate our lives, that there is a recalibration that's having to go on, that's really calling for a gentleness in our ability to process and accept the situation currently, and yet vision a different future, vision a different outcome than perhaps the one that is being shared in the mainstream media. So we move round to 10 o'clock, and this is Heart Star 1, and she is just pure love. And she says, let go of any fear. Trust, all will be well. So she's a wonderful, light-filled, luminous energy to work with in this mandala. The Heart Star roses and the Cosmic roses, Rose 6 and Rose 7, the 6th and 7th aspects of the rose work, just hold an incredible grid of light for us to be our best selves, be the best version of ourselves, and to be that lighthouse, to be a light for others in the world. And, I know for many there's been stuff that's come up, either within our own fields or in our families, around this incredible time that we're in. And how do we navigate this? How do we navigate the fear that's coming up individually? How do we navigate the fear that's in the collective? And how do we hold and anchor the love? How do we anchor the trust and the vision. You know, we are vision holders, we're visionaries of a new earth, of a new way of being. And therefore there is a process that we've all been going through. But she is a beauty to be working with, that's for sure. At position 11 on this mandala of light, we have Rose Ma 5, and she's Sophia, wisdom. You know, when we go to a lost place, when we go to this, not exactly helpless, hopeless, but, you know, when things just seem to be very contracting, she says, no, trust in the wisdom, trust in the divine wisdom. All will be well, all will work out well. And if we move round to 12 o'clock, sorry about the camera shake here, I'm trying to support my arms while I'm doing this, is Rose 6. And Rose 6 sits in the sacral chakra. And really, all she's saying is, you know, don't allow yourself to go ungrounded. Don't get caught in your head. Use whatever opportunity you have to ground yourself in nature, ground yourself in your own personal presence. You know, this is that chakra of creativity, of the very essence of who we are, and is an absolutely essential rose in this pathway home to self, this pathway of sacred homecoming, which I feel that this at the higher aspect of this experience that we're all in, as a collective, as a global collective, is a sacred homecoming. There is an opportunity here of really having an appreciation for family, having appreciation for our friends, even if we're not managing to actually physically see them. You know, I'm really missing personal connection, and you know, not getting to see the mates that normally come in for dinner, or the circle, our Rose inner circle here, or the classes. It's just a very, very different experience. But if we use this time wisely, it will bring us into a deeper and deeper connection with ourselves. And this opens us up to this possibility of this sacred homecoming, which actually will craft for each and every one of us a different future forward. If we are master attractors and we magnetize through the frequency of the heart field, then all the work that we can do at this point to stabilize and upshift our frequency is going to stand us in really good stead when we move forward. So I will just stand up and give you another view of this. Gosh, my hand's really shaky. So this is a really powerful mandala of light. And as I say, all of the notes with your loved ones, you and your loved ones' names in the are in underneath the roses in this outer mandala. So I am going to switch this round and pop you back on the, hopefully, if it plays the game. Oh my goodness. Technicalities, huh? Just a mo. I might have to just hold it by hand. It's not really wanting to play. Oh. Sorry. It may. Yeah, it may. So, what I'm going to do is work an unwinding process with the beautiful Thoth pendulum, and just unwind anything that really now needs to be released, any of the negative emotions that have been running, just so that we can release any issues around separation, any issues around being scattered, feeling scattered, any issues around being fearful of the future, any issues around feeling blocked, any issues around loss. And I know for many, you know, financially, this is a really challenging place to be. So, you know, any plans that were thwarted, letting go of any sense of isolation. Somebody said, you know, we are all in the same boat. I don't think that we're all in the same boat. I think we're all in the same ocean. We are all doing our best in our little boats. We probably got the same breed of boat, that's for sure. And loss of sovereignty. You know, at the moment, we're so used to our personal freedoms, and this is, you know, this is a real challenge for many, in the fact that there is a loss of our personal freedom, but it doesn't mean that we need to lose our sovereignty. And actually, as sovereign beings, we can use this time to really strengthen and create another degree of mastery of our own emotional realm. So we're letting go of judgment. We're letting go of fear. We're letting go of that feeling of feeling lost, and without direction, and feeling ungrounded. So I'm working to unwind all of those emotional places that we can find ourselves caught in. And the roses are lifting those energies off of this grid so that we can journey that little bit clearer, that little bit lighter for this next phase. And as I say, the roses called this a mandala of hope and healing. And we are being asked to travel light. We're being asked to travel as light. And so whatever there is that is residual, that comes up as an energy charge, that's where our attention needs to be, to transmute it and to get the juice out of the experience. So I know you're sitting slightly wonky because one of the legs has gone down on my tripod, and I'm thinking, I hope you don't slide over completely. Anyway, so the pendulum has stopped the unwinding process, and we're going to just wind in the love codes that this mandala offers us. So we're winding in surrender to the fact that there is a bigger picture here. There is something bigger that's unfolding within the light realms for our journey forward. That this is an offering of a deeper opportunity of self-knowledge and inner wisdom. That this offers us the opportunity to develop another aspect of our creative energies, creative fulfillment of the soul. That this allows us to become absolutely in gratitude and an appreciation of what we do currently have, what we do already have as our experience on a day-to-day basis. Be that people, be that the grace of having a roof over our head, food on our table, to enable us to vision a future forward, to envision a how we want to feel at the winter solstice, it's useful to give yourself a point. And because this Saturn-Pluto conjunction is a major event from an astrological perspective, my sense is that for each and every one of us, there will be a significant marker. So look and see what you can vision as how you want to feel come the end of this year, and then bring it forward, bring it to you on a golden ribbon of light, so that you can constantly bring it back and embrace it, live it now as if it was then. So we then move forward to the Divine Feminine Rose and her reminder to us of compassionate action and that questioning of what would love have me do, say, or be now? How can I inspire? How can I bring more of the divine feminine energy active on the planet at this point? How can I open to receive? How can I be open to be receptive to all that can come to assist me at this point? What can come to inspire me at this point to carry forward? Connection further with my soul star, my personal Akasha, knowing that I signed up to be here at this point, that it's in, that there's no happenstance, yeah, and to allow the divine dispensation from the soul star to illuminate a path of truth for you, to move into this place of forgiveness. Is there anything, anybody, any event in your past that you've still got an energy charge on? If you can embrace the forgiveness, there's another space for the light to enter this temple within, to embrace love as often as you can in the day, to be love in action, to remind yourself of your divine connection to Sophia, to wisdom, to the wisdom of the earth, to the wisdom of the winds, to the wisdom of the fire and the wisdom of the water, and heaven on earth. And last but not least, the Rose 6 that holds the 12 o'clock position in the mandala, and her calling of sacred homecoming, coming home to self. The sacral chakra is always the last to clear in any healing process, because it holds the complexity of I am, and who am I inside the tribe. So, in that winding in process, I invite you to take just 3 beautiful, easy breaths in and out to absorb whatever it is of that pathway of light around the mandala that is for you. So, from me in the Rosy Temple and the random journey around the mandala for hope and healing, I hope that that has been useful for you. And yeah, sending much love and rosy blessings. Bye-bye. Bye for now.